We are joined now in the studio by the talented Charlie Hunnam. He stars in the new series Monster, the Ed Gein story, stepping into the shoes of the notorious killer whose chilling crimes inspired iconic horror movies like Psycho and The Silence of the Lambs. Take a look.
How do you do?
Mo.
You're not from Plainfield, are you?
Eddie, leave the girls alone.
Don't mean nothing by it. Just wanted to welcome her to town is all.
Oh, Charlie, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
I mean...
What do you think about that haircut?
It's the hair, the voice, the whole package. You played creepy very well, Charlie.
Thank you.
Very well. But I understand that the role itself was kind of sprung on you by Ryan Murphy in a meeting?
Yeah, we have a mutual friend, Max Winkler, who is our executive producer and main director of the show, who I'd worked with in the past. And yeah, it was just a general meeting to get to know each other because, you know, we liked each other's work. And Ryan had just started work on the show Monster. And so we just started having this great creative conversation about the writing process and this new show that he was excited about. And then 2 hours in, he turned around and said, "So do you want to play him?" Which was a wild moment, mic drop moment. And I had enjoyed getting to know Ryan so much and felt like there was so much enthusiasm about telling the story that I got sort of swept up in. And before I knew what I'd done, I said yes.
For folks who aren't familiar with this story, it is dark. A lot of it we probably can't get into on morning TV, but give us a sense of who this man was.
Well, it's interesting. He's like a very sort of culturally influential person who you've never really heard of. He was a boy living in somewhat isolation in Wisconsin in around like 1940 as the years of he was active criminally. But like you said in your introduction, he was the inspiration for Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho and Silence of the Lambs and Buffalo Bill and Silence of the Lambs and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So he had this huge cultural influence, and yeah, we sort of go back and look at the inspiration behind the inspiration for those films.
There's a scene in the clip where you're looking at the camera and you say, "You're the one who can't look away."
Right.
Was that some sort of indictment on our society and the way that we sometimes glamorize and sensationalize characters like this?
Yeah, I think so. That's one of the primary questions we ask in the show is who is the monster? This boy who did terrible things but had been abused and left in isolation with untreated mental health issues, or this legion of filmmakers that took inspiration from his life and sensationalized it for entertainment and arguably darkened the American psyche in the process. I mean, prior to actually Ed Gein, our relationship with monsters in cinema, well, like Dracula and Frankenstein
Fictional.
and werewolves.
Yes.
And Psycho was the pivot point where we became the monsters, and that was all as a direct consequence of the influence that Ed Gein had had. So yeah, we certainly asked that question, and I think hopefully do it fairly responsibly. Ask it the consequence of putting this type of narrative in our mind.
What do you think?
I think that storytelling has always had an important function, and I think deep down we're all sort of afraid of the boogeyman in some way, some sense of something terrible lurking in the shadows that, you know, and I think that that's the primary function of horror is kind of like exposure therapy, a safe way to, you know, look at the dragon in the eye.
How do you decompress after playing a character like this?
It takes time. I mean,
is it true you actually went to a grave?
Yeah, I went to visit his grave. So my partner, we've been together for many, many years, and she told me a while ago, like, take some time after you finish, because when you come home, you should be ready to see me, which is fair enough. She's incredibly generous and letting me like sneak out the back door, go do my work, and then come home. And so I've been shooting in Chicago. I decided to stay for a week and sort of decompress. So I was ready to see her when I got home. And it was about an 8-hour drive up to Wisconsin from where I was to where Ed grew up and where he's buried. So I thought it would be good to sort of a good conclusion to go visit his grave and say what I wanted to say to him, and basically that I hoped that we had told his story honestly at the very least, and didn't invite him to come on the journey with me moving forward. I was ready to say goodbye to him and that be the end.
Charlie, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Come back anytime. We should mention Monster, the Ed Gein story. It hits Netflix on Friday. Don't watch alone. Savannah?
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.